Hello and welcome to another edition of Frank Conversation. My name is Medina Azaki. As the All Progressive Congress convention draws nearer, the political gladiators are warming up and doing what they know how to do best: negotiation, consultation, horse trading. And today I'll be speaking to one of the aspirants who is vying for the national chairmanship. My guest is a former governor, a two-time governor of Nasarawa State. He's a serving senator, and he's what a lot of people describe as a political mobilizer. Your Excellency, Senator Sen.Al-Makura, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure being with you.
Okay. For a lot of people who have gone through your CV, who said you're one of the first CPC governor of Nasarawa State, the defunct CPC, one who is being referred to as the son of President Muhammadu Buhari. Why would you want to go for the national chairmanship of a political party, which a lot of people describe as most times controversial and problematic? Why do you want to be the national chairman of APC?
So thank you very much. I'm happy in your first question you made mention of being the first CPC governor and the only CPC governor ever, because CPC has come and gone. And I think that is the very basis that will really motivate me to partake in the aspiration for being the chairman of this party, in spite of what you consider as a very turbulent and difficult situation at the moment. Like I've always said, politics is a congregation of people with varied interests, varied views, and such people are looking for harmonization of these differences towards a charted course. For me, my aspiration is predicated on my commitment to the party. Commitment in the sense that by virtue of being the governor of CPC, that became one of the legacy parties that formed the merger. Some people give the appellation that the government of Nasarawa State was the laboratory of Muhammad Buhari's political structure. That's very, very true, because to be in the merger, you have to come with a government institution in place. And the CPC government of Nasarawa State fulfill the criteria for the merger. With this merger, Nigeria has reached a watershed where various tendencies that were at variance with each other came together and want to have a united, focused, and harmonious country. At this point in time, when we are about embarking on the process of transition after President Muhammad Buhari would have completed his second tenure, I feel it would be a disservice for some of us who knew how this party started not to partake in this aspiration. This is because to ensure that we sustain the legacies and all the gains this party has had over time. I think with that, we can say we will have a safe future and highly optimistic future of the party.
As somebody who has been in party administration since the 1980s, what policies and programs are you bringing to the table?
The issue about political administration and party affairs gets more complex when the party gets a lot of acceptance, because in that way you are increasing more differences within the party. And to me, that is the challenge. That is what it's even making me more committed towards contesting for the party chairmanship. Because at this point in time, when the party is so complex with so many people in it, more than 40 million people, the best way to go about ensuring the success of the party is to have a leadership that will have an open door policy, a leadership that will be fair to all, a leadership that understands the dynamics of politics, the leadership that has known how this party has come about since 2013. The leadership would have the appreciation of all the efforts every stakeholder has done. And above all, my administration, if I happen to be the chairman, would be inclusive, to give everybody a sense of belonging, a sense of hearing, and a sense of self-determination in terms of what one believes in, as long as it conforms with our party constitution, national constitution, and also is in the interest of all of us.
The biggest challenge chairmen of political parties have is party supremacy. And in trying to enforce that, they step on banana peels, they step on interest, and at the end of the day, they get consumed with that. What difference do you want to make? How do you want to change that? Because it's all about party supremacy, isn't it?
Yes, I think this is a phrase that has been so badly misunderstood over time. Some people assume party supremacy is monopoly of wisdom of the leader and throwing things down the throats of the followers. I think that's the wrong way to define party supremacy. Party supremacy, from what I understand and what I have seen over time, is the ability of the leaders to ensure compliance with the rules, regulations, and the constitution of the party. The supremacy of the party is in its constitution, in the rules and guidelines. That is why whoever wants to be a member of the party should subordinate himself to the constitution of the party. So the supremacy of the party is not the supremacy of the chairman or the National Working Committee. It is the supremacy of the constitution that brings everybody together and shapes the ways and means we operate. I can assure you, if I become the national chairman of APC, party supremacy will be at its highest. And by that, I mean everyone must subordinate himself to the constitution. Everyone, whoever, from the chairman, from the president, up to the member in the polling unit, must adhere to what the constitution says. I will be at every point in time applying the brakes, raising the flag, should any member, no matter how highly placed, will do anything that will undermine the constitution. To me, that is what is meant by supremacy of the party.
How about taking the party back to the people, the real owners?
Of course, APC is a progressive party. It's a party that has been formed by the wishes and aspiration of the people. And for us to take that to its logical conclusion, we have to abide by two things. One, to have an open door policy. Two, to be inclusive. When you make party inclusive, those people that are vulnerable will find accommodation and acceptance within the party machinery. So taking the party back to the people is to ensure these conditions of being inclusive, of being open door policy party, and to also ensure that one promotes fairness and justice. Once you do that, everybody's interest will be served.
All right. When you become the chairman, the national chairman of your party. Are you going to ensure that a young presidential candidate emerge? Because the youth are clamoring, they're saying this is our time, come 2023.
Yes, very much so. Because the government of President Muhammadu Buhari has scored the bull's eye as far as issue relating to giving hope to different categories of people, particularly the youth. Don't forget, it is this administration that has prepared the bill and the law of not too young to rule. This has given the youth an unfettered platform, an opportunity to excel and attain self-actualization. So for me, as far as any youth complies with the provisions of the Constitution, we usually welcome. The only problem that is bedeviling this category of people, like youth, like women, is the way and manner, the subculture of playing politics in Nigeria. It's very unfortunate. Youth are vibrant, they are cosmopolitan, and they are sophisticated. And from youth, you can have international best practice in terms of governance. Because what is going on across the globe is having leaders of countries with very minimal age. Look at France, look at Canada, look at Australia, to mention but a few. They're not up to 50 years. And if we can have it work in Nigeria, or why not? The only problem we have with regard to youth crossing the Rubicon is because we have so bastardized politics by making it commercialized. Politics has become a money-making kind of venture, so much so that only those with tremendous amount of resources can venture, partake in some of the most prominent positions. You see, like the position of the president. For one to be able to carry out his campaign and work it out towards success, given the size of this country, the size of the population, and the amount of activities one has to embark upon to be able to succeed, would require tremendous amount of money. And this category of people are disadvantaged because some of them are yet, the best of them, out of them, may not have the resources. You find that a country can be in dilemma. Look at the youth that is 45, 50, that can give Nigeria the best president that we never had. But how does he attain to that position without going through this very tenuous and cost exorbitant?
So how do you intend to remove the commercialization of politics?
Thank you. That is exactly what is in my mindset as the chairman, if I become chairman of APC. We will ensure a certain internal mechanism that gives support and encouragement to youth and reduce those bad tendencies of money politics. We will create conducive atmosphere and leverage the youth to be able to attain certain stage in their quest to attain that position without necessarily suffering from too much cost challenges. We'll start from ensuring making the forms for contest or expression of interest to be as low as possible.
Like how much? 200,000?
No, one would not say it because that will all depend on when the National Working Committee has been formed and the kind of engagement that goes between members of the National Working Committee. But I can assure you, if I will be the chairman, I will pursue a situation where uh, political activities will be cost effective to ensure that it accommodates people that would have the challenges of finding the resources to partake in the venture.
Okay, so let me come to my constituency, the women. Women participation in politics is at its lowest ebb as we speak today. If you become the chairman, are we going to have more women in elected position? Sometimes it's not just the money that, prevents women, but the men who will say, we can't have a woman ruling over us. Are we going to have women governors? Are we going to have more women senators, House of Representatives, State Assembly?
No, you see, times are changing, and the kind of mentality and mindset that we used to have before, an analog thinking, where we think that is the men that know everything and can do things much better than women. I think things have changed because the female folk have proven their mettle, and I think the atmosphere is very encouraging, and I would urge that the women should step up to pick up the challenge. However, one has to make certain distinction when it comes to issue of promoting women to assume positions. There are two categories of positions. One is the appointed positions. The second is the elected position. It will be easy to accomplish to have women as many as possible, even attaining to the benchmark that has been agreed in the Beijing conference of 35% affirmative action. That is possible. I practiced it in Nasarawa State when I appointed 5 women commissioners out of 17. I have attained that. So it's possible you can do it anywhere as far as it is appointable positions. And I can assure you, if I become national chairman, I will encourage from the president to the governors to the chairman of local government that for appointive positions, they should try the best they can to attain the benchmark for the Beijing affirmative action. For the elective position, it is neither here nor there. We are hamstrung by the Constitution because this is democratic process. In democratic process, the issue about categorization of sharing formula for women, much as I will promote that, I will support it, but we have to get it encapsulated through the constitutional provision. A situation where everybody is allowed to vote. You cannot ask people to fight and vote women simply because we want to meet that benchmark. Because politics or democracy is about the wish of individuals voting.
But the party can make women flag bearers, isn't it? Like they do for the men.
How do we make women flag bearers in the party when the process for the emergence of flag bearer is defined by the Constitution? As it is now, it is either by direct primaries, delegate primaries, or consensus. So for me, we can get that achieved only if we use one aspect of the process for the emergence of leadership, and that is the consensus. I will, if the provisions are allowed in the Constitution, I will champion the agitation or promotion of the emergence of women flag bearers, especially when we consider the system of consensus. But if we don't apply the consensus option, if it's direct or indirect, then we'll have to leave it to the mercy of the people voting.
Okay.
And so I think the women should also be vehement, be committed, be up and doing in ensuring that the parties to which they belong tries as much as possible to use the consensus option. I think that is a shortcut, a leeway where we can find ways and means of pushing women to attain political positions that are elective.
Okay, but Your Excellency, I'm sure you heard the word, there's no shortcut to heaven.
There's no shortcut to heaven, yes.
So that might be a disadvantage.
But there is shortcut to big political positions. If the party leadership would want to be committed to ensuring and supporting the emergence of women, we can have a shortcut. And the shortcut is allowed by the Constitution. Because if, for instance, we go by the consensus option, to me, it's a shortcut. And the shortcut is provided, is accepted, is part of the system that is been put by the Constitution.
All right. As we wind down, how do you ensure that the manifesto of your party is followed to the latter?
You see, our manifesto is a well thought of manifesto. I was opportunity to be part of those that also package it. And if you look at the manifesto of the party cover to cover, you will discover that it has carried everybody along, and it's very thoughtful. It has tried to penetrate into the most intrinsic challenges the entire populace are facing. If you look at the manifestos of APC, is to me the best manifestos of all the political parties. And I can assure you, if I become national chairman, I will ensure detailed execution of these manifestos at all levels of governance.
All right. And finally, as the political son of the president, as the first governor of the CPC, which happens to be the laboratory, are you the anointed candidate?
No, that's far from Buhari's mindset. Buhari cannot have an anointed candidate. He's a man that believes in the system, and whatever comes before him has to conform and comply with the system, as it were.
All right. Senator Sen.Al-Makura, many thanks indeed for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, Medina. I appreciate it.